Alright guys, so I haven't uploaded the past week because I was recently speaking with a friend. I told him my situation and what I wanted to do, and what does a good friend do? He quits his job for you. So we are going to do this together. Let me introduce you guys to my good friend, Steve.
What's up, boys? As he said, good friends, they quit their job, they work on their dreams together. So let's get this shit done. Let's get this bread.
So we're going to work together, man. Steve and I have different goals. My goals are to work on my Japanese, to learn Japanese, to get better at piano, get my physique back. His physique is very decent. But when he got started, we'll have to put some pictures in the video. But when he got started, he hit me up and he asked me for some workout advice. I gave him some workout advice, gave him some plans, and he just pretty much took off from there, man. He's a beast now. He's literally a beast. And honestly, I'm proud of him. He went in 6 months. He went from like being super scrawny to having a decent physique, a physique that would take most people years. I got to be honest, it would take most people years. He kind of fell off a little bit, being that he was working 2 jobs, and now we're trying to get it back on track, man. Getting our life back together, taking control of it again, man. You know, just being an adult work just takes most of your time, and you just kind of become, most adults I know are just, they're just kind of shells of their former selves, and we're trying to just kind of correct that.
And they get complacent with that lifestyle. They become so okay with it. It's like, if you're just doing the same shit every day and just always just not getting any farther with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're not developing yourself, like, how can you really be okay with that? Like, I plan to be developing myself to the day I die in some way or another.
Agreed. Well said, man. Well said. So, as you guys have noticed, my buddy Steve has a crooked smile right now. But we're going to fix that, man. We're going to fix that. Hey, go ahead and tell them what your story is about your teeth. We'll put some pictures. Let's put some pictures of your smile for prom, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Put some pictures of that.
Some pictures
So
of
tell
that.
them your story about what happened, like, to your teeth.
So essentially, when I was just getting out of high school, it was my senior year, about winter time, and I had some at-home problems, which led to me eventually being homeless for about 6 months of time. And so during that time, it was literally like what I was eating was just like what friends would give me during lunch and my free school lunch and stuff like that. Like, and that was about it. And I eventually ended up meeting this girl and moving in with her, and we started dating or whatever. But even at that point, she had some issues going on at home. So rather than worrying about getting my dental work done, getting like a deep cleaning or something like that, I was trying to help her with her stuff. And by the time you actually like realize what happens to your mouth, it kind of just becomes a snowball effect where like I was starting to go to the dentist and doing cleanings, and it hurt horribly because my teeth were already so sensitive from the damage. And you know, you brush your teeth every day, you do your Listerine, you do your flossing, whatever, but it just prolongs the inevitable. Once they get to that point, you need something more serious. You need like your root canals and stuff like that to really solidify it. And I didn't have the money, I didn't have the insurance, and so eventually that ended up destroying my mouth. And I really don't like showing it, but you know, gotta get used to it. So you know, even when I went to the dentist pretty recently, she said well over half my mouth has to be pulled, cannot be saved. And so I'm just looking towards the plan of getting like some really strong, solid implants, and we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. This man was working 2 jobs to try to pay to get his teeth fixed, which is super admirable.
Like $30,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
And and I was even working on a plan of going to Mexico where it's cheaper there, and you know, at that point it becomes like $25,000. But like, you know, I was working at Walmart and Target. And like, how are you gonna get the money to do that? Those places, it's not gonna happen. It's not realistic. Sometimes you gotta jump out and take a chance.
You were really gung-ho about it until I'm like trying to talk you like out of that, basically.
Oh, I was very into that plan. I was like, yo, 2 years of saving with no extra anything, that's nothing, man. I could just work 2 jobs for 2 years with no car, no problem, man. And then like, just as I started really setting into these 60 to 80 hour weeks, and sometimes even a little bit more, and you know, as I just really started to realize like I had no time to try and, you know, work on relationship life. I had no time for friends or family. I had no time for me. And like, as I realized that, I was like, you know, I really can't keep up with this. And that was when I really started thinking about your offer more seriously.
Word, man. I told this man, bro. I told him, whoops. I said, bro, I will give you part of my unemployment money to come down here and help me work on this brand, bro. Help me work on this brand, and let's make this big. You know, tons of people want to get in shape. Tons of people want to learn languages. Tons of people want to learn instruments. You know, let's take this 6 months and build this brand, man. You know, and just take a risk.
Everyone's looking to improve. It's just sometimes they just don't know how to start it. And so that's pretty much what we're gonna do. Even if we can't turn someone into a complete master of something in their 6 month period, it's like at the very least we can get them to the point where they're self-sufficient. Like when I first went to Dan, I said, yo, listen, I need YouTubers that I can learn fitness from. I need to ask you some advice from personal stuff. And, you know, I went from there, and he recommended some YouTubers. I learned from them. I learned from Dan himself. We worked out together for a while. And then eventually I was like, all right, now that I have all this information, there's no reason I can't learn more myself. I started looking into different YouTubers that I found better. I started talking to other people. I started reading actual scientific research papers and all these meta-analysis and all that, literally just to learn it all for myself. I started learning self-experience, and now I'm just as self-sufficient as any personal trainer out there.
Telling you,
you just have to learn it. You have to be ready to put yourself in that position to where you want to be a master of something.
I'm telling you, when you guys see this dude's before and after pictures, you're gonna see why I wanted this guy on my team. I'm telling you, because he would call me. I would be like, yo, you know, what do you need? Because at the time I was fucking jacked. I was jacked.
He was huge. He was. Oh my.
I was probably in some. I'll put some pictures of that too if I can find them. I was probably in the best shape of my life. I was ridiculous, and all my friends would ask me for advice. None of them would stick to it. This is the key. So I got to the point where I would purposely not answer any of my friends when they would ask me for advice, because they would ask me for it, and then, you know, I would just see them like eating cheeseburgers and shit the next couple of days, and I was like, I'm tired of wasting my time writing this program out for these people if they're not even gonna do it, you know. And you know, I did the thing where I don't answer them, and he would, you know, pester me about it, and if they pester me, then I'll give them the answers. And I gave him like the answers on how to like do everything. I told him when to take the whey powder, with all the stuff to get branch chains, multivitamins. I taught him everything. Not even everything. I just taught him the bare minimum what he needed to know, and he had the wherewithal to go and kind of figure out the rest for himself. And I think that's key. So I had to get this guy on my team. Wait until you guys see his before and after pictures. I'm telling you.
One of the important things too is that literally when I first learned from Dan, you know, I took everything he said into consideration. I started doing it. I started seeing good results. But even as I started doing independent research, fitness is this wonderful thing where the same thing doesn't work for absolutely everybody. You got to kind of learn yourself a little bit, and you kind of have to learn, like, some things, like, you know, like you have something like creatine. It's very, very well researched. What it does and doesn't do, very, very well known at this point. But then there's plenty of other supplements on the market, plenty of workouts that are out there that aren't necessarily as proven, as tested. And so there are plenty of things that me and him still do not fully agree on in the world of fitness. But we both know what works for us, and we both know what works overall. And so certain things we have that are little preferential taste differences, like if one of us likes to train with more volume than the other one, or if he does bro splits and I do push-pull legs, or just whatever, you know, like, these are all things that are preferential, and they're based on what your lifestyle's like. But the important part is to acknowledge when something flat does work and flat doesn't work. And so even though we work different stuff, we can still kind of respect the other one's workout, because we know that the results speak for themselves. You know, we both have definitely built amazing physiques off of our own strategies.
Damn, bro, we just shot a 9-minute video.
You'll love to see it.
All right, let's get in there. We at the gym now, man. This is day 1. We're about to kill it. From disaster to master, day 1. Let's go.